This is NTV.
Business Redefined in association with KCB Bank.
As always, this is your weekly most comprehensive look at the world of business and economics. Welcome to Business Redefined. I am Julian Amboko. We brought you a conversation about the regulation of pump prices, and you said you wanted to listen to the story from the side of a retailer, and well, here we have it. Millicent Onyonyi is the general manager at Ola Kenya. Welcome on set.
Thank you, and thank you, Julius.
Let's kick off by having a conversation about COVID and the business. This has been a wild card for very many enterprises this year. How has it been from your perspective?
Well, it has been really tough, actually. I mean, and it came as a surprise, and we didn't realize how much impact it would have on the business initially. And when we realized that it was going to be such a big problem, we quickly made sure that our people were safe. And so we have a shift system where, you know, we ensure that there are at least 2 shifts coming in and out. The beauty, I think, for me, what we have seen is we saw some very quick innovation from our teams. And when government asked us to do something about sanitizers, I quickly saw our lube blending plant team rise up to the occasion, and we were the first to produce sanitizers that were distributed to the public. So while the revenue was struggling, the team quickly pulled together to make sure that we saved costs so that the business could survive. And as a result of that, we have remained strong. So it's been tough, but I think we've come out stronger.
Speaking about revenue struggling and trying to manage your overheads, one of the things COVID has done is to suppress demand. Yeah. How has this impacted your business from an inventory perspective?
Typically, the inventory cycle for us is about 1.5 to 2 months. So when COVID struck, we were holding inventory, and therefore when the demand declined, we ended up with the high-cost product, which then affected our margins. So that was very, very tough, particularly in the Jet A1 aviation sector. That was really, really tough.
Early this year, we saw some significantly subdued prices in the global environment. Just keen to understand how this transmitted into your business, because clearly then that has an impact in terms of the revenues you're ramping up.
Yes, definitely. I think the greatest beneficiary at the time was the mwananchi, because clearly what happened is when the global prices went down, they went so significantly down that I think it was the time when we saw the highest decrease in pump prices in the market. So the consumer benefited, but the industry had to take quite a bit of a big hit because of the fact that our inventory holding was not in line with the global price movement.
And what are your general thoughts around the pricing of petroleum products in the country? Of course, the ordinary citizen out there will be quite feeling disenfranchised when they look at the trends in the global market vis-a-vis what they're paying at the pump. Granted, a huge chunk of the Kenyan price is largely taxes and levies, but just keen to get your overall thoughts around the pricing in Kenya.
I think we need to assure everybody that the prices are competitive. I think we have an open tender system that ensures that we get very, very competitive. So in terms of our pricing in the market, actually, it's quite aligned to the global market, about 30 days behind because of the fact that it takes time to ship in the product, but it's quite aligned. And the rest of it, as you say, is levies, and the government does need to collect some levies to be able to provide infrastructure.
I see.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the market landscape as a whole, and now getting into the Ola business venture by itself. The evolution of the brand has been quite a journey. I remember Esso, we had Mobil, we had Oil Libya, now we're talking about Ola. Just walk us through this and how you perceive, how you're positioned within the market landscape.
I mean, this is a very old brand that has evolved over time. So started as Esso, that became Mobil, became ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil then sold its assets to Libya Oil. Libya Oil actually operates in 17 countries across Africa, so it's an African brand, and the Ola rebranding actually is just an attempt to refresh and bring in that African view. It's the brand itself is shaped in an oil drop with like an African map shape, just to instill that African prosperity, to have that orange, the sun of Africa, the blue, the technology, the refreshing of Africa. So it's really just bringing the brand alive again to just assure everybody that, you know, a Pan-African brand can also be as strong as the multinational brands in this market.
The market is increasingly competitive. We have very strong mainstream players. We have a number of, if I could call them mid and low tier players, who are really flexing their muscle. How do you see your positioning in that space?
I think our position is growing stronger. Our position is definitely growing stronger. We are now present much more around the country. We have about 100 service stations, so we are growing. The mid tier are also becoming much stronger, giving offerings to the public that typically was multinational offerings. But I believe we are now creating programs like loyalty programs that will differentiate us from everybody else. We are now also providing a premium Optimium, which is really additional efficiency for people's cars at no additional cost. So we are increasingly looking for ways to provide more value to our customers, and we hope that when our customers come in, we're not just providing fuel. There is a chemist, there is food, there is car service, there is M-Pesa. There's everything that a customer would be looking at as they're looking into a convenience service station.
And as you look to boost your value proposition through some of these products, how does that then impact your margins as a business?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it does in terms of the fuel end, it puts pressure on us to share the value with our customers. But it also then allows us to broaden our scope by providing other better margin areas like the food, the pharmacies and the lubricants. Those give slightly better margins. But on the fuel side, it then allows us to extend some value to our customers.
And speaking about the lubricants, clearly a number of players are looking to diversify into this space. How is that unfolding for you?
Lubricants is good business. It's very good business. One of the things that the industry has been pushing for is for government to reduce the levies on raw materials. Currently, government charges 10% for raw materials, and then 25% if you bring in finished product. Now, if we reduce the levies of the 10%, then it makes lubricants more competitive, and then we are able to export our products. Currently, we are competing with markets like Egypt, Dubai, South Africa, and those markets are highly subsidized.
And if I put that comment to the CS Treasury, one of the challenges that we often cite is that we understand our resource envelope is a bit constrained. So whereas peer economies, the likes of Egypt, would extend subsidies, we clearly don't have the bandwidth to extend that kind. What do you see as the outlook? Because you're asking for a more favorable environment. We don't see it coming too soon.
Actually, we don't want a regime of subsidy, really, because subsidies eventually are expensive for government. But what we're looking for is a regime that lowers the tariff charge. So when the tariff charge is lowered, what happens is that the business increases. When the business increases, then the corporate tax increases. So there are two ways of increasing government revenue. So you can take it from the beginning, or you can take it at the end, and it depends on which one is a bigger pot. And our proposition is that the bigger pot is in reducing the entry and then creating a bigger business, allowing us to compete and export, and therefore generate more revenue, allowing more taxes.
The market regulator is exploring an option where, a framework, I should say, where it can harmonize prices, pump prices across the country. Right now, of course, you appreciate in Nairobi, you pay something different from Moyale, etc. As a retailer, how do you see this, the feasibility of this? Because, of course, it would mean that someone else would be bearing the burden for the transportation cost to that one who pays the most.
That's difficult, especially as long as there's still quite a bit of transport done by truck as opposed to by pipeline. So some of it may come through because the pipeline is quite efficient, depending on how far the pipeline extends. But on truck, that might call for very high subsidies, which again will affect the revenue stream for government. But I don't speak for government. Government speaks for itself. Absolutely.
You spoke about a presence in 17 countries. Just walk us through your regional footprint and what's your strategy in this area.
Okay, so we have very strong in West Africa, very strong in Eastern Africa, And the real strategy is actually retail. So we have over 1,000 service stations, and we are looking to grow those. And actually, the whole strategy is to be seen as a retailer.
How do you see the 2020 closing out? Already a number of us were banking on a very enhanced closure to 2020. We're now talking about a second wave and potentially what that would mean. How is it looking like from your side?
For industry, you know, when we see a second wave, it makes us extremely anxious because, of course, the business, there's a lot of business that is done by night movement. Okay, so when we're in a curfew regime, it means less movement. Okay, and less movement means less fueling. Less fueling means less business.
Right, and that point takes us to a short break. Business Redefined will be back with a lot more on this subject.
Leo Safaricom wanasherehekea miaka 20 na wewe. Piga star 444 star 20 tumia shilingi 20 pekee utunukiwe 20 minutes na 20 MB.
Wa Kenya, hii fight hatukuchagua, lakini tuko na choice. Tuchague kujilinda. Tuchague kuprotect familia zetu. Tuchague usafi. Kuosha mikono. Kuosha manyumba zetu. Ndio tulinde watoto wetu. Na tuvae mask. Future yetu iko mikononi mwetu. Kenya, let's do it for the ones we love.
Istiqbal is now in Kenya. We are the voice for quality, colorful, innovative, and functional home furniture with presence in 92 countries worldwide. We have it all. Sofas, beds, dining, and mattresses. Celebrate our end-year sale of 50% off. Yes, everything at half price from 2nd November to 31st December. Visit our showroom at Panasar Center, Mombasa Road, opposite Airtel.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola, taste the simple joys.
Superior stain removal na mwosho moja just got more affordable na 10 bob too.
When they flip and roll and start to crawl away, tape diapers can be hard to put on. Then it's time for all-round fit Pampers pants. Easy to pull on even when they're moving around for a great fit and up to 12 hours of dryness. And easy to remove. Just tear the sides, lift away, roll up the pants, and you're all done. Now available in size 6. Pampers, love, sleep, and play.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh.
Downy's new boom boom pow, Downy boom boom pow. Smells kaya na uchafuzi na zibita improved Downy. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na Downy's boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, Downy's new boom boom pow. Smells zote na zi boom boom pow. Powerful freshness, Downy's boom boom pow.
Nani 15 bob too?
Karibu mom, let me take care of your hands.
Kwa sababu ni muhimu kutunza mikono ya mama, Omo ina chembe asili ya kutunza mikono ya mama anapofua. Omo, nguvu ya kutoa madoa sugu, kutunza mikono. You're watching Business Redefined in association with KCB Bank.
Welcome back to Business with Antonioni, who is the General Manager at Ola Kenya. Welcome back on set.
Thank you.
The LPG space is increasingly attracting a lot of appetite from players within your sector. What's Ola's position in this space?
Ola's position in this space is strong. Current data indicates that out of Kenya's 47 counties, 6 of them have the United Nations recommended forest cover of up to 10%, while 21 of them have forest cover below 10%. Okay? So we cannot achieve our forestation target of 10% by 2030 unless we deliberately shift from charcoal to this clean energy. So there's obviously therefore a great potential in LPG, and everybody sees it. Okay, so as Ola, we are very keen to grow LPG, not only because of the business impact it has, but LPG also has a very health impact. A lot of children are dying from pneumonia because of fumes coming out of charcoal. So there is definitely a case for LPG for health reasons. There is a case for LPG for entrepreneurial reasons, because LPG is unlike fuel. In fuel we actually sell a wet product. Now inventory management of a wet product is very difficult because it's in a tank, there's evaporation, but LPG is really a packaged product, so easily moved and can be handled by young entrepreneurs and programs that, if they're programs by banks, by government, to fund young people to do programs, entrepreneurial programs like selling LPG in containers at mashinani level, is a big opportunity for so entrepreneurially, health-wise, economically. This is a good business opportunity, and it's something that we are really keen on growing.
And when you speak to a lot of mainstream players within the oil retail space, they will tell you that the issue of counterfeit of their products, especially in the LPG, is a big challenge. Are you confronting this?
One of the ways we are confronting is we're looking to investing in RFID, which allows us to be able to know the circulation of our cylinders. Apart from that, also we are working with groups. Recently, we actually partnered with Joiwo Women. So with these women groups, we are hoping that we are able to get a better cylinder rotation. So the whole idea is that when I sell to you a cylinder, Julius, it comes back to me for filling again, and then it goes into the market again. But right now what's happening is that we're putting cylinders out there and they don't come back until they come back for revalidation. So somebody else is filling the cylinders. It's unfortunate because this is major capital investment for which we're not getting a return. So the other thing is that we must appreciate the government has put in a legal notice 100 that insists that only cylinder owners fill them. Now the key here is now enforcement of this. So the Petroleum Institute and the industry are working together to ensure that that enforcement is going on. We have a lot of support from EPRA, from the DCI, from KRA, because obviously illegal refilling also affects government revenue because then they are not really legitimate business. So we are working as industry through Petroleum Institute. We are working also as individual marketers, and we are trying to make sure that our asset comes back to us and we generate the income desired.
Not too far back, I think it was late last year, we saw the market regulator issue guidelines as far as licensing and distribution of LPG products is concerned. How would you say this is impacting your operation? Yeah. Because it's sought to mainstream and formalize. Yeah. There are a lot of informal LPG retailers we used to see on the streets.
I think it is good because it is now ensuring that only people with a certain level of establishment as established by EPRA are able to sell LPG. The problem is we still have illegal refillers. Now these illegal refillers, we need to find a way to enforce them being stamped out of the market. So the licensing has actually managed to ensure that it's not a free business for anybody who does not have an investment. So the licensing is good.
One of the key challenges facing the retail petroleum retail products market is the issue of adulteration of product. And of course, we've seen a lot of effort from the market regulator. How does this How is Ola as far as this is concerned?
No, I think it's pretty good. I think the EPRA introduced very stringent penalties for adulteration, and apart from that also then the pricing of IK increased, so the incentive also reduced, and product quality is something that we check regularly every time we make deliveries to our service stations. We do random checks at our service stations as well to make sure that they are keeping the right quality. We do regular what we call meter reconciliations, which help us to understand what is it that the service station is receiving. This makes sure that they're only receiving product from us for which we can vouch for the quality.
One of the key questions I'm always asked whenever I'm speaking to players in the oil sector is the aspect of waste disposal. Because a lot of the waste is hazardous. How do you manage this?
I think that is something that the industry has done a pretty good job of. Petroleum Institute, we actually have a safe waste oil disposal program, and these are NEMA licensed, and all of them are, all service stations are required to dispose of their waste through contractors that have been certified by NEMA. And what we do is that we have a process where we check. We have a service and appearance check that we do regularly to make sure that our service stations are complying.
Earlier this year, when you saw subdued global oil prices, one of the key issues that was raised to me is that retailers in Kenya have a shortage in storage facilities. So we cannot adequately take advantage of the opportunity presented by subdued prices. Is this a view you share?
No, I don't think so. I think retailers in Kenya, if you ask me, are very good business people. Obviously, the key to business is managing your inventory, just having just in time the right levels. So the main thing is to keep the right level of inventory so that you, at any point in time, you are ready for the market. So as the market transitions, you have the right inventory level, and the retailers are very sharp. You will actually see it when the prices are about to change. Depending on the direction of the price movement, you will see the buying patterns. If prices are going up, you will see the retailer quickly take in some stock to be able to benefit from the increase. If prices are going down, you will see them very cautious. They will not buy so that they don't end up in a situation where they have expensive stock. So I don't think so. And most of the time, at least we are able to ensure and assess that we are not losing business because we don't have enough storage. So we upgrade the service station and the tankage to make sure that we are capturing the market.
Looking into 2021, of course, we understand COVID-19 is still a wild card. Even if we have an improvement, it tends to have a lag effect in terms of the impact it inflicted on the economy. What's your outlook for Ola?
Well, our outlook actually is positive, and our orange sunshine, we are looking forward to a bright 2021, and as we said earlier, hopefully the vaccines will be in place and business can come back, and movement can come back, and the economy can come back, and our customer can be on site and enjoy our smiles as we serve them. So we are positive that 2021 is definitely going to be a better year than 2020.
I was speaking to one of the key regulators in Kenya, and we did receive indication that there was a challenge in terms of clearance of diesel at the port of Mombasa. Is this something which affects you in terms of accessing your supply?
Well, that was, I think, a one-off. What happened was, actually all product is received in Mombasa because all product is bought through the open tender system. So if there is a disruption, it disrupts everybody in the industry. It was a one-off, and I think the industry responded pretty well to it, and I think the Ministry of Petroleum helped us big time to gather up the resources, get road transport, and the pipeline also quickly restored itself to bring in product. So yes, the thing is, any hitch in our industry disrupts all of us.
And that point by Madam Millicent takes us to the close of our conversation on Business Redefined tonight, where we have been discussing issues of the petroleum industry from a retailer's perspective. Up next is the Markets Report.